Only God knows, no matter what God you serve, only He knows our heart. And my heart today is to make sure that we open up the space for communication. I myself, Sister Christina Muhammad, for anyone on the call who do not know me, I love Austin. I love my people here in Austin. And I do believe that we have equal opportunity, or we should have equal opportunity, no matter where you are. And we're taught that we have freedom, justice, and equality. And that's the most important part, that we have freedom, right? In order to get freedom, you got to have justice. And if you don't have justice with equality, there is no freedom. And where we are today as a people, we have to make sure that anytime something happens, we have to fix it immediately. Where we are right now, we're in Exodus. We're exiting out of Pharaoh's land. And we all want the same thing, but some of us may have a different way of getting to the same thing. Everybody on this call is saying absolutely the same exact thing, but we have a different way of getting to it. I asked you all to join me on this call today because I will tell you, I have my it's us, the community. I have my brother, Victor Reed. All of you know my brother, Victor Reed. I called him my diamond in the rough. All right. That's my diamond in the rough. That brother there, he gonna say what he say. He gonna mean what he say. And it may step on your toes, right? He coming for everybody. Trust me. The brother came for me too. But if you all remember what we used to say in school, sticks and stones may break my bones, right? But words
Ah,
can never hurt me. They don't hurt me because they're not true. So I do have Victor Reed on the call, and there are a few more of us on this call. And I'm going to set our intentions for the call, and I'm going to do some housekeeping, and then we're going to move forward. My intentions for the call is to create a solution. Everything may not happen right on this call, this first call, but we're opening up dialogue. Okay, this is the start. Victor, you see there are people on this call, and we're still waiting a few that are here, right? They want to hear from you. So, meaning that if you have people that want to hear from you, that means that we want to come up with a solution so we can all do better. So, on this particular call, I want us to be able to leave this call saying this is the call of one of many more, but it's a call so we can have a solution and can agree, even if we agree to disagree, but we can agree. Because one thing that I do know, family, is we got people on Facebook right now sitting back watching popcorn, talking about look at them black folks. Look
mm,
how they acting. There's so much that we can do in this community because we got some giants. Victory being one of those giants in our community, right? All the people that are on this call, we have leadership. Terry's on this call. You see Student Minister Robert Muhammad's on this call. Clifford from Capitol View Arts on this call. Dr. Ulysses Moore. You know, we have Chaz. We have those that want to see a change. And I will tell you, housekeeping rules, we will not have an argument. We won't fuss. We won't fight. We're not going to call each other out. We're not going to stick. None of that kind of stuff. This is an open dialogue for us to talk. We already know what's happening, right? We know there's a situation that's been taking place. Our brother Victor has something to say. We know that it's no, I don't have to get on his call and play around. That's what I say. We play around too much, and we don't have to play around. I don't have to, what they call it, you're tootling in the tulips. I don't have to do that. We straight, everybody on this call know what's been going on and hadn't been good. And myself, I can't sit back and play like it's all good because it's not. I can't sit back and watch somebody call people out and this. I can't do it. It bothers me, y'all. So if we're gonna do anything, we have to start with doing it peacefully. I have Chaz on this call, right? Because we know Chaz, he works with the justice. Well, what good for it to be for anybody to work with justice and we don't have justice for each and every one of us, right? So I mentioned Terry, she's with the Black Leaders Collective, Leadership Collective. Well, what good is it to collect leadership and we don't have all of the leadership? You see what I'm saying? So then you have the 10,000 fearless first responders they represent on this call. Well, what good is it to render aid and you can't render aid to our brother? You see where I'm going with that? It doesn't make any sense for everything that we're standing for that we see one that's out. Where if you go and you have one of your brothers that's falling back, that you feel your perception, if you don't turn back to make sure you can render aid, then something's not right. Our brother Victor Reed represents every single Black person in Austin. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if we're community leaders, this is one of our brothers right here that we're representing, everything that we're fighting for, right? Every time that we say that we're going to get with the city, we're working with the city, we get these grants and we get this, that, and the other, and we're collecting and we're marching. This is one of our brothers that we're fighting for. But we are turning inside, we're turning within, and we're fighting one another versus turning outwardly and fighting the system. And this is why I want to be able to have this. So I will be listening. I want to give, our brother has something that he wants to say. Him and I already had a conversation. He already knows, and he's going to say what he has to say. Because if he has some great information, some great knowledge, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great to see how much force Brother Victor Reed has and how he just don't care? I can work with a person who won't hide anything. That's easy, right? But just like a diamond in the rough, you just got to polish it up a little bit. We got to rise above our emotion, as the minister said, into the thinking of God. And this is that particular time. So Victor has some stuff that he says that he wants to be able to, a presentation. He has things that he wants to do. So just like any other calls that we jump on, why can't we allow our brother to do the same exact thing? Same thing, Victor Reed, what I'm saying before you get ready to speak. We're here in the community, brother, and I want you to understand one thing. We're doing the best that we can with what we have. With what we have. I don't care if we got $1 from a grant. I don't care if we got $1 million from a grant. We're all saying the same thing. And we have to meet each other at that finish line. But I think that we can work together and, just be able to heal. We got to heal now. So please, everybody, we can all definitely speak. I want to hear from my brother, but I want to be able to facilitate this call without drama, if you will, because we can do this. We can make this happen, Austin. And I can't wait to start seeing our brother be a great leader in the forefront once he is rid of all of the hurt and pain that he has inside of himself, because we're all hurt, but we all react certain different type of ways when we're hurt. And this is our healing. So thank you again so much for joining us on this call. Thank you, Victor, for, wanting to pull a call together. Because anytime when you have somebody making a whole bunch of noise and sounds and jumping and slamming things, that's because they want to be heard. And I'm going to say this about Victor. I've seen Victor's. I listen to him. I study him. I don't be on his lives when it be live, right? Because Victor will call you out in a minute. What you looking at? But I study what he says. And one thing that I can say about Victor is every time he does get emotional, he does shed a tear. And a person who does not care are not capable of shedding a real tear. Those are some real tears that are coming from a person that's genuine, that wants to help, but may not know how to help. So my brother, this is your time to shine. This is your floor. And everybody else that's here, we're listening, we're in support. And we want to know what it is that we can do, my brother, to assist you, because we want to be right there with you, and we're backing you. And after you're done, it will open up the floor for anyone else, okay? And thank you all so much again. And my brother Victor, you have the floor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I don't want to get emotional at the beginning because I won't be able to make it through. So let me tighten my lips up and tighten my face up. But you know what though? God told me it was you, Christina. That's how real it is. I know all these people. I know Chaz Moore. I know Robert Muhammad. I kind of know Terry Mitchell. Them people know me. But you know what he told me when I woke up the other morning? He said, her. He said, Christina Muhammad is the one that's going to put that together for you, bro. Because nobody else is going to listen to you. I'm going to give you exactly the person that's going to put this all together. Now, people can manipulate however people have a relationship with God, but I know through his actions what he done did tonight for me. He done gave me a platform to address the powerful leaders in this city, which is y'all. We And a lot of people are probably expecting me to apologize. I'm not apologizing for nothing. Nothing. My actions, my words, I'm not apologizing for nothing. Because you know why? Because I know how powerful y'all are in this city. I know that y'all done gained a recognition that could change the rest of the city and with it the nation. So let's not hide from that no more. We can no longer use those excuses no more. That old regime, that old way of thinking is over. And y'all gonna have to become accustomed with that. Y'all are gonna have to evolve into these new kings and queens that we're gonna start tonight. I really have no personal issue with none of y'all. I really, really don't. Most of y'all know that y'all know where I'm from, bro. A lot of y'all grew up right on side of me. Austin is still a small community within the blacks. We all pretty much grew up with each other, knowing each other, seeing each other. So y'all know how personal it is, because I could have continued doing my manipulation on people, doing the manipulation with dope, doing the manipulation with robbing these white folks and every goddamn thing. I'm good at manipulation and corruption. I'm very good at it. But my God done told me to have a different soul and to use that recognition of a hood nigga and all them different shit to my advantage, to bring in the common man. We have become all elitist. I could have did the same thing y'all have achieved, but I did not do so. Not for the reason of this moment, but I know how to fuck with them people. I'm from Austin. Why do you think that's a quality of coming from? I done lived in 3 different cities. You see what I'm saying? And what I can tell you is that one thing Austin did for us, of a byproduct of their educational system, is that we have a good education. So we can pretty much go to any corner of this nation and the world and adapt, because Austin gave us that opportunity to be educated with these white folks. I get that all the time. Man, when I was in New Orleans, when I'm in Houston, when I was in Atlanta, you don't sound like you're from here. It's a reason behind that. And it's also the reason why I came back to my community. Because at the end of the day, outside of, in Austin, we ain't looked upon how we look upon in other cities. The same way that we're looked upon as educated people outside the city, when we come back to the city, we're considered animals. And it's proven through the disparity within our city. See, I don't know about y'all, but it seemed like y'all done became rich niggas or something. Because when I come to my people, I can't avoid the hurt. And it seemed like the people that's the leaders there in our city, they can avoid the hurt. And it's a lot of brothers that's not from Austin. I can see why they can avoid the hurt, because they're not from here. But when I come back and I see my homeboys' kids don't even know what a venture capitalist is, don't know what IT means, data, don't know nothing about technology, and this city is driven by that, then I hold people like you, people like you and these other leaders that's on the phone, I hold y'all accountable, bro. Because I know that y'all are intellectual. Because if you wasn't, you wouldn't be in your position. So that's what hurts me. And that's why it's not gonna be no apology. Because I done seen how this system works in this city. And I'm pretty sure it works like that in other cities too. But this one, it has to be greater, because this city suffers from the greatest disparity gap in the nation. The statistics say so. This is facts. This is not no personal view. This is not a lie. And then, like I said, and I'm not gonna stay too much longer with my logic, with my feel, because I want to hear from the other people. I really, 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 really want to hear from y'all. Because this silence has hurt my people too long. And you know what? You know what's so great about you, Christina? Is that you ain't scared, baby. You picked up that goddamn phone like it wasn't nothing. But these other people been avoiding me. These other people done actually formed alliances to say that I'm crazy, even with me presenting the facts. And you know what I decided to do? I decided to attack. I decided to treat y'all how I done treated my situations and why I done survived for 48 years. And it's sad that I had to revert to that with y'all educated people. But I'm here. I am frustrated, but y'all got my attention. I'm finna sit back and I'm finna listen. And then I'll respond. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. That honestly was heartfelt. And I'm glad you were able to get it out. And that gives us something to reflect. I'm going to, with that being in mind, I will, listen to it, everybody. But my question, and everybody, when we speak, I want us to keep that question in mind. But how, how do you say it? How can we, how you saying how powerful we are as a community, but how can we help our people from where we are? So if you see something, right? You see something that our people, you mentioned to me, you said no turkeys, you said all this stuff that we were giving TVs and all this stuff, it doesn't help our people. I'm very, very curious to see how can we be of more assistance to our people. And that's, Victor, where that's you being on the team, the side with us, right? Sometimes people can see certain things and other people can't see it at that time. See, one thing when we talked about 10,000 fearless first responders, you and I already had that conversation. There was a need. There was a need that when it came to disasters that wasn't in the community. So great, it was a great way to add it in. I didn't have to go in against it because nobody else was doing it. So if you yourself see something that needs to be done that we're not getting, then we need your team, right? We need you to be there to show us, to fill that gap and that void. So let's hear from everyone. I want to hear from my sister Terry first, because she was one of the last sisters that you did attack. You went in for, right? You was going in there. You was left, right, but my sister stood strong as well. Right. But with that, keeping in mind how we can help, I want to hear from my sister because she's doing a wonderful job. I support and I back my sister. And I'm pretty sure she has that same sentiment that if there's something that you can do to assist, right? We would love assistance in everything that we do in Austin. This is our piece. Go ahead, my sister. You have the floor with your strong self.
Well, thank you, Sister Christina, for all that you do for our community. And thank you for always bringing peace and light to every situation. Thank you for seeing the bigger picture. Thank you for being our mother and actually bringing us together. When the family fights, when the family feuds, a family that sticks together will sit down after the feud and discuss how to make sure everyone is heard and we move forward. But the family doesn't break up.
That's right.
And so we can fuss and we can fight, but the family doesn't break up. And as many phone calls as I've gotten behind you, Victor, this week, that was my number one sentiment. I don't want any harm done. I don't want any violence. I don't want any more bickering. I don't want anything, especially not behind me, because you are my brother and I do love you. And like I told you, Victor, you know, we knew each other back when I was in college and you were living in Houston. And you were balling and you had your businesses were booming, your ventures, whatnot. I knew you then. And I knew you in a very sound space. And then we lost contact for a few years. I'd moved around after college. And then by that time, you had moved back to Austin because your relative, Rodney Reed, had been, was on death row and you were advocating on his behalf. And I'd noticed in, you know, through that experience that something had changed in you, and I can understand why. I would never understand or know what it means, or at least, I mean, hell, I hope that I don't, but I don't know the pain and the frustration that comes along with having someone wrongfully accused and on death row. That's so close to you, as your blood. And so, you know, because of that, I knew that something had changed. You know, at that point, you hadn't, like, I'd asked a few times, do you remember me? And you were like, no, or whatever. And I was like, okay, clearly something's changed. Just behavior had changed. You were popping up at Black events, you know, really loud. And I realized even then that you were just upset at the Black community for not standing up by your side the way that we should have even then. And that, you know, you were within your right for being loud and, you know, screaming to the top of your lungs that you needed help and justice for your family. And so now a few years later, just a few short years later, we're in this predicament with yet again, we're in civil unrest, and we're all fighting for, you know, justice and peace. And again, you probably feel like the Black community is not stepping up the way. So I want to apologize, number one, for however I've let you down, by not being by your side in any way, shape, or form. That I want to take ownership of that. I can't speak on the whole Black community, but I do want you to know that in our own little ways, we were doing the best that we could. And we're just as frustrated and hurt and tired as you. And, you know, since college, again, I grew up on the East Side, on East 12th Street. I grew up with no lights sometimes, with no electricity in the middle of the winter. I grew up having to take my sisters to and from school and making sure they were good, you know, when everybody was trying to fight or hurt us, you know, on up and down 12th Street, you know. So I've been evicted 2 times and had to ride the school bus past my house with stuff outside of my house, right? So I know what real separation looks like as well. And it's not to like pick and choose, you know, try to say, you know, I know separation and you don't, or you do or you don't. It's not about that, but I want you to understand that I know where you're coming from. And what I will not do is apologize for picking myself up and doing what I needed to do to get my family out of that situation, you know, and for creating a good life for my family. I'm not going to apologize for that. If anything, those around that you've seen, you know, doing things should be an inspiration to others, because that's truly what we want to be, that we've come from the same place and we are going, and you can do it too. Now, the difference between many, many others, those that you know, they left this city high and dry with their talents and their skills and their resources. They left, right? And they did not come back for our next generation. Nobody wanted to pick up the torch. And I promised myself I wasn't going to be the one to do that. I was going to come back for my city. You know, I was going to come back and make sure that now that I'm on, I let a hand down and pick others up too. And I've been doing that, you know, as far as I possibly could, right? And I've only really been doing this justice work for about a year now, because I was so focused on getting me and my family into a situation. But after my daughter came, I realized I couldn't continue to grow her up in this type of space. And so I started doing the work that I haven't seen anybody doing. I started doing the things that only people started talking about, right? And not because I need $1. I don't need a dime I don't need a dime from this. What I need is my community so that my daughter has one and knows of a Black community here in Austin, and so that the next generation has one, so that we don't completely obsolete ourselves from the city, right? And so that's what I'm legitimately working toward, you know? And so I felt like through, you know, the works of my heart, I was then blindsided and lied on and persecuted publicly for things that I could literally shell up, stick in my big ass home with all of the things that I have and not worry about another thing that's going on, you know, on the east side. But I'm trying to not be the one that turned my back on my own community, and therefore I shouldn't be chastised for it, right? And so when we spoke, when you called me and I called you back, you know, and we spoke, I told you, you know, I would never not call you back, or, you know, if I'm busy, I'm gonna call you back. But we can talk about this. If there's something that you don't think I'm doing right, if there's a solution or a plan in place that you want me to push, I'm on your side. I'm behind you. I'm ready to follow you, you know. But what we can't do in the public eye as a family is be sitting up here condemning those that are trying to do the very best with what they have. Because the family does not feud in public. We do it on calls or face to face. You know, we don't never air our dirty laundry out to the public, because it's those white folks looking at us being crazy, you know, and looking crazy, you know. And so everyone asked me, well, why did you go so low with Victor? You didn't have to say nothing. Nobody was saying anything. You didn't have to say anything. You probably lost, you know, some of your brand just based on just going there with them. And I told them, I wanted to go there with you, one, because I needed you to know that we can go low if you want, however you want to play this, we can do that. You know what I mean? If that's the way that you listen and that you understand, I'm down to do that too, you know? And so that's why I went low. I needed you to know that we can do that. You know what I mean? Do I regret it now? No, not really. You know what I mean? Like, not really at all, because it at least came to, you know, we're finally here at this space, you know, and I'm strong. Thank God it was me and not another Black woman that, you know, couldn't defend herself like that. I'm from the East Side. I got, you know, cousins and uncles that were my age that I had to fight. So fighting with another brother, that's nothing for me. You know what I mean? I fight my brother all the time, but that's nothing. We can fight. You know what I mean? So, you know, I just want you to know that whatever it is that you need, please call me, pick up the phone, you know, and I'm going to do a better job of creating a relationship with you too. You know, maybe I haven't done a good job with continuing the relationship, but I'm not about cancel culture, canceling you out. You know, I'm not about not listening to you. I'm not about none of that. You know what I mean? I'm really about bringing people in. You know, I really believe if you really just tweak some things, you really can be exactly what we need for this community. You are the leader, you know, but we got to also be careful of the message that you're spewing out there. You know, like it's causing a lot more harm than good. And you certainly can't get work done by making the leaders of this community an enemy. You know, we don't deserve that. And for me as well, like all I've ever seen is you run up in these Black-led events. You know, I need you to run up in these white folks events. If you're asking me for a solution, pull up on them. Pull up in, you know, city council. Pull up at their galas. Pull up at their functions. You don't do it at Black-led events where we're just trying to figure it out.
Hold on. Let me interrupt you with that. First of all,
Victor, Victor, hang on 1 second. Let's let her finish, okay? And then we're going to give you an opportunity at the end. I want to be fair to everybody. And then
okay.
We'll give it to you at the end. So just jot it down so you can come back and you can just kind of set the tone and we'll finish the
Okay. I got my pad right here. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, Sister Terry.
And so, you know, that if there's anything, I think that is a little bit, you know, there's a way to use your message, you know, but I don't know if beating up on those that are trying is the way to go about that. And, you know, that's where I'm at. You know, I appreciate you wanting to get my attention, you know, but honestly, anyone that calls me gets a call back if I'm, you know, if I'm running around. So, you know, and the same will always go for you, you know. And so I look forward to creating a new Austin with you. I look forward to taking back the Black community, you know, with you. I look forward to co-creating with you. And, you know, I do love you, you know, and we can fight. You know, I just don't want these white folks having a reason to call us fools and niggas anymore. I'm done with that, you know. So let's find another way.
Okay. Thank you, Sister Terry. We're gonna move on because we do have one, two, three others that I want to give an opportunity. You know, Victor, who you said that you wanted to hear from as well on the call. So keep in mind, now, let me just say this really quickly. We're going to end this particular call at 6:55, okay? This, again, is the first call of many calls, but I don't want to go no later than that is what I'm actually saying, okay, at this particular time, because I know some of us have other. So I want to give those other three an opportunity to speak, and then we'll go back and bring Victor on, and then we'll close this particular call, okay? So next, the next person that I wanted to bring is you know, I know he's a lot quieter and he's a lot, you know, shy, but he does work in the community. And, you know, he's one of my brothers as well. He is a great leader. And, you know, I know you went in and you attacked him as well. And, you know, when it comes to the writing on the actual grounds of downtown Austin. And it did, Brother Victor, it really did hurt him because, again, we're all just trying to do the best that we possibly can. So I wanted to give Clifford Gilliard with Capital View Arts an opportunity to speak. My brother, you have the floor. If you can unmute and if you want to say something, I definitely, because I'm doing it this way because those that you know, that literally have been hurt, I want to start a dialogue. It doesn't have to be a long and drawn out something, but just the fact that you're here and letting you know that we want to mend these relationships. That's what we are. So I saw you unmute. So thank you, Clifford, for joining us, brother, and you have the floor.
So thank you, Sister Christina.
Absolutely.
I just want to probably kind of echo some points that Terry made. One about the perception that we as Black people, not even leaders, because some of us have a lot of work to do to get to a leadership status. But for those of us who is trying to do things and do it the right way, to be always be confronted by one of our own, whilst we don't get it from the other spaces, that we have Black individuals coming at us, and not only coming at us to raise issues that is germane to what we're trying to do, what we think might be best for us, but coming at us in a very negative way. And for that reason, I want to compliment Terry again, that she just said that she got into it with Richard. However, when the incident happened in my direction, I just ignored it because I felt it wasn't worthy of conversation at the time. Particularly wasn't worthy for public conversations. If you want to have that conversation out there, if you want to present yourself in that manner, be at it. It's all well with me as long as I'm not part of it. Now, the rhetoric could be pointed at me, but I'm not going to engage you in that kind of scenario. When you first opened up the conversations and he started speaking, I thought I was going to hear from him some issues that he wanted to present that he can seek our help with. And I didn't get that. I find myself now having to express what I am thinking and what I'm feeling to satisfy another ego. I'm okay with who I am. I'm okay with what I do. I am proud and happy of who I am, what I do, and who I do it with. And I'm not selective. I mean, anybody who wants to work with me, and I've worked with just about everybody in this call right now. And I'm willing to put myself on the line to defend an idea that would make us whole, make us all better. We don't necessarily have to all sit at the table and laugh and chuckle to be good steward of each other's work. So you know, that's where I'm at this point. But again, I was hoping to hear. He said something that, look, this is where I need your help, guys. This is what I'm trying to do. And I just want to leave it there until I hear that, you know. And even saying that, I still want to say that maybe what you're trying to do is not what I want to do, not the space I feel comfortable going into. So I leave that to you, but I would lend my tacit support by not trying to denigrate what you're doing and causing strife within the community.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much, Clifford, for adding that. We appreciate your words. And we're going to move on to our next brother, you know, in the community. He's another one that worked hard, and he was another name that you talked about. Chaz Moore, you know, Chaz, he is, you know, the person he has been spearing. You know, we haven't had up until then somebody just take it, somebody that looks like us. Sometimes it's a little difficult to see people that look like us, you know what I'm saying, in different lights. It's difficult, you all. It really and truly is. But, you know, Chaz came in and he created his own lane. He created his own arena. He said, freedom, justice. You know, we represent freedom, justice, and equality. And he did that, and he built that. And, you know, again, it may not be what we understand, and we have our perceptions about each other, but I have to say that my brother is working tirelessly. He is working tirelessly in the community, whether if he's from here or not. Hell, he is here, you know, and I'm thankful because there's been a lot of times that I've called Chaz up and I say, hey, man, such and such in jail, I need your help. No problem at all. He'll send up, he'll front whatever is needed. So I want to hear from you, Chaz, my brother. You come off of mute if you have something to say. I would definitely love to hear from you.
I just want to thank you, Sister Christina, for doing this. I really, you know, this is all very something to me. I don't know what that word is, but you know, I grew up to where. And you know, Victor has had choice words about me before, and I reached out to him and we talked, and you know, he got my number. So you know, to see this keep happening, is just, you know, I think you all are a lot better than me. But you know, everybody here talking about God and family. I want to remind us of the scripture, Proverbs 24. Proverbs chapter 22, verses 24 and 25. It says, you know, don't hang around ill-tempered, bad-tempered people because it's contagious. So, you know, we keep saying, you know, family this and family that. But also, again, from a biblical perspective, since everybody here talk about God, we know that in the Bible it says you can't straddle the fence, right? So even God is going to part way with a lot of people that choose not to follow him. So, you know, and then also, like, you know, we sitting there talking on the phone. This man already said he's not going to apologize, which is, you know, also something I think we need to think about. You know, it's one thing to hold people accountable, but to just sit here and lie about stuff that you don't have facts about is just childish and dangerous to me. So if there's no room for resolve, and, you know, Victor has never once made it clear about what he wants, I don't understand the point of this conversation. I mean, he's not going to stop. He's going to keep doing it. And at the end of the day, I believe that, again, you know, me being a believer in Christ and a believer in God, and knowing that Jesus Christ himself, who was a perfect human being, got persecuted and tried for doing the work that he did. But you just got to keep doing the work. You know, like, so the fact that Victor already started out this conversation by saying he's not going to apologize is something that I hope everybody kind of just, you know, lean in on that. Other than that, then I'm here for you, Sister Christina, and Terry, and everybody else that wanted me to be here. But to be on the phone with a quote unquote family member that is saying he's not going to recognize the harm he is doing, that is not going to recognize the harm he brings to Black women, is something that doesn't make sense to me. And if this is somebody y'all want to keep in the family, then by all means go ahead. But me being a true believer in God and trying to live by the word, like, I cannot afford to be around people that is evil-hearted and just angry all the time, like it said in the Bible. And that's not me. Y'all can go look that up. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 24 and 5. Do not hang around bad-tempered people because it is contagious. I can't keep that energy around me, and I don't have to address lies and nonsense because it's nothing to address. It's made up, right? So, like, until people can man up and mature up and call people and explain clearly what they want, then I honestly don't see the purpose in this. And that's all I have to say.
I appreciate your honesty. Thank you so much for that, Chaz. And we'll definitely, you definitely bring up the scripture, and it also says that if you have not done unto the least of my brethren, regardless of where we are on that particular map, again, what we represent, everybody on this call, is we represent that. And you're absolutely right. It does say that. Ill-tempered, all these people. And that Bible verse does talk about all these ill-tempered and people have done us wrong. And that includes our 400-year plus slave, enemy. You know what I'm saying? These are ill-tempered people. We all fighting together. But if we can build our task force, our own structure to go to war together, some people you may want to have on the forefront that we can stand by. So this is the first call of many. And yes, he did. He said that. I heard him when he said that. But that's just the first call. And remember, he hadn't heard any of this. So you can say what you want to say. He can say all day long he's not going to apologize or this, or he may feel that, but he sees his communities behind him. Trust me, we all believe in God. God will do whatever he has to do. He'll whoop our little backsides and make us. He may wake up in the night and say, oh, we got to have the next call. I got to apologize. We just got to keep hope alive. We're going to go to our last person, y'all, because the time is winding up, honestly. But I want to bring on our student minister of the city of Austin. We are the Nation of Islam, man. And this Black people, this is what we do. And this is a brother that has been fighting and is a local representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And we know the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He don't play that. But he also says that we have to love ye one another, man, the same way that he loves us. And he loves us because he's doing. So this is our spiritual essence, our spiritual brother that's keeping us together. And we're going to stay together now. We can't part. But without further ado, y'all help me bring on my brother that works. And I know, Victor, you mentioned his name as well. But let's hear from our brother in our community, Brother Student Minister Robert Muhammad.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to greet everybody with peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Sir.
I just, I want to thank you, Sister Christina, for reaching out to our brother and putting together this call to give him an opportunity to express himself and to give others an opportunity to express themselves. I wanted to share this first of all. I was listening to a lecture that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was giving to some individuals in leadership, and he said that quite often we look at the person that's biting us as an enemy, or the person that is a thorn in our side as an enemy. And I'm talking about people in our community. I'm talking about us. He said, however, he said that if we endure what they're bringing to us and not lash out and not respond in kind, he said they could be like sandpaper. And you and I could be an unplaned piece of wood, and that if we allow that person to be sandpaper, then what the end result will be that we will be polished to help us to better serve our communities. Now, I'm not telling anybody on this call to accept personal attacks and things. I've spoken with Victor, I've spoken with Chaz Moore, I've spoken with Sister Christina, I've spoken with Clifford. I have not spoken to our Sister Terry about our brother. And I always like to share, I could give you hundreds of stories of people and leaders that have violated, that have turned their back on Minister Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, but you will never hear about it in the public. You will never hear about it in the public. There are even some of us that wanted to deal with people a certain way that the minister said, no, don't worry about it. Let brother or sister grow and develop, and we'll grow and develop together. And so I think Victor Reed has a tremendous amount of value. I think he's been blessed with an idea that if he's given support for that idea, at least one of his ideas, that it would be a tremendous benefit for the community and specifically our youth, our young people that's coming up in this particular time period in Austin. And, you know, I too, and I've had this conversation with Victor and others, you never hear me, I don't say anything about our own people in the public, even if I disagree, because I know that there's other people watching. And I don't mean white people, I mean other Black people. And if somebody admires you, anybody on this phone, and they see you respond a certain way, something that maybe the perception is not on point, or maybe it is on point, they may create that habit. And that habit, you know, it's one thing to be a reminder to our people and let them know, man, I'm watching you and I need you to stay on point. And anytime you're not on point, I'm gonna be right there to remind you, you gotta take care of your business. I'm watching, right? It's another thing for people to learn certain behaviors and they utilize them because they don't even know where you coming from. And so I say this, and then, you know, our in mind is that we ain't gonna never have nothing until we can find a way to overcome our differences, right, and work. It ain't got to be, we ain't got to be smiling at each other and sitting down at a table and eating food and doing the same things and enjoying the same aspects. But if we can work together, now I know Victor Reed has come to me before. And we've had discussions on the phone before, and I respected it because he came to me, you know, and you've never even seen me respond to my brother anything that he had. I know how I know how he gonna pull you out and he gonna bait you out. But I really and truly believe at the core of his heart that he is reflecting the pain and he's trying to find a way. And he sees you and I as individuals that have made some progress. Now, I don't know about words like rich and all that kind of stuff, because I can throw some bills down on the table right now and I can run some stories just like all of us can. I won't do that this evening, but I'm saying this to everybody. And I've been doing this since my late teens. And I've seen leaders come and I've seen them go. And I've seen this very type of behavior help to break some of our good leaders. Yeah. And they say, you know what, to hell with these niggas, they can have this. And they walk away. Some of them needed to walk away. But some of them had some value that we lost and we end up having to start all over again. We gotta stop doing, we gotta stop it. And I'm gonna tell everybody this right now. If you gonna serve Black people, we not in the condition of any other people on this planet. So when we dealing with one another, we gotta be mature enough to gravitate above the other brother or sister's pain and say, man, let's go in this back room. Let's have a conversation. I don't know if y'all remember the movie Lean on Me, when Joe Clark was in the room with, I think it was the superintendent or whatever he was, and they got into a huge argument about what Joe Clark was doing. I think Robert Guillaume played the other character. And at the end of the argument, they said, let's go get something to drink or something. So we got to find a way to develop that. And I'm going to tell you right now, I have not been a proponent And I've been a supporter of everybody, I believe, on this phone. I haven't led one cause that you all lead, but I've always been there to attempt and to try to support everybody that I believe on this phone. And even with Victor Reed, and I'll say this to you, brother Victor, you have some brilliant ideas, and one of them specifically, but I'm gonna tell you this, everybody on this phone have their own burdens. And I would employ everybody that if we can overcome the differences to support your effort, because I think, and I know that it's needed here, but I'll say this, that because everybody have their own burdens, they're going to lead that and to take charge of it. And when we support you in that effort, that's the power that we're looking for in our community. And so I'll say that because everything that everybody on this phone has led to charge of in their own personal lives and their own professional lives, you know, they didn't get any help until, guess what? Until somebody saw them helping themselves. And so, man, I'm honored to be here, and that's all that I have. And unless asked to give any more to this. So thank you all for having this, and thank you for having me to be on.
Thank you so much. All praises belong to Allah. So we do have a few more moments. Brother Victor, I will go ahead if you can just kind of give us close out. Again, remember, this is the first of many calls. This is not the last, all and be all. This is just the first of many calls. I'll let you go ahead and if you can maybe take about 2 minutes if you need to. And then what we'll go ahead and do, we'll get ready to close out the call. And then I am going to ask us to be able to come back and finalize and start to fix. But at least I'm glad we're starting to see that we can work together. Okay, so go right ahead, Victor. I'll give you 2 more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and close out the call till next time.
I'd like to say thank you, Miss Christina Muhammad. And like I repeat, God told me to come to you. And I'm gonna make this real short and sweet because I think the number one thing that came out of this was the bravery of my people.
That's right.
I was gonna talk about the twisted part about my cousin that came from Tammy. I'm not gonna talk about that. I wanted to talk about Clifford and talk about why haven't nothing been done. But I'm gonna address the biblical thing that was said, the Proverbs, that you don't be around ill people. That was the most significant thing that touched me out of everything. You know how much I respect Robert. But when Chaz Moore said that really meant something to me, because you know why? Because every character in the Bible was considered an ill-tempered person. Saul, Moses, Abraham, each one of them were ill-tempered to that system that was in place. Am I lying?
Come on. Come on.
Every character in the Bible was considered an ill-tempered person. So I don't think he should make that quotation. Because if he make that quotation, he's showing how great I am with my God. Love y'all. This is the first of many. My respect. Assalamu alaikum. Amen.
Wow.
Let's make this happen. Thank y'all.
Again, thank you all so much for joining us. And that was just beautiful, everybody. And it shows that we can have conversation. And it shows you never know how deep one person's pain is, right? So we look at here and we really don't know how deep Victor Reed's pain is. But Victor, you really don't know how deep our pain is. You don't know how deep the pain is for Chaz. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about survival, one thing that I learned about being a first responder is we are all about, and we talk about survival. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that if you're just surviving, you hadn't even begun living. It's time for us, you all, to start living. So we have to look at us, and we can't judge none of us Don't judge my brother Chaz. That's what he's holding on to, right? That's his way. He has to protect himself. Then we look at Sister Terry. She said everybody left. She made sure she stayed right here in our community. You know? And then we look at Clifford. He's doing the best that he can do, and he has a right. We have a right to choose who we want to hang with. And we already know Brother Robert already gives us that spiritual essence. But what I can say on this call before we close out in the next 30 seconds, family, is we got. We are all
That's right.
have. We are all hurt. I'm hurt. Trust me. I'm hurt like heck, man. But me attacking other people is not going to help anybody. I pray, and I'm going to set my intentions. I pray that we can have a relationship with you, Victor. There's some work that I want to see you do. Because the way you are, bro, a diamond in the rough mentality, I know you can be used. And I know the community will benefit like one of the other brothers and sisters said on this call. But we got to polish ourselves up and get to work. And as soon as we come together, guess what? That is a force that this world can't, they're not ready for, man. That's what this is about. And again, thank you those, Dr. Ulysses Moore on the call. I appreciate it. Our sister Nicole, welcome. She's getting ready. Hopefully she come down here, I know, and we'll have more. But I'll let my brother Ulysses Moore close us out. That's all for me. I love you all. And after Ulysses Moore, go ahead and close us out. I look to have many more calls. Thank y'all for being brave. Thank you for being strong. I love you all. My brother, Dr. Ulysses Moore, please close us out.
Thank you,
Christine. I appreciate that. Hey, I'm just excited to be on the call. Amidst some of what's going on, I am completely oblivious to what's going on. I got to tell you guys, I am. Christina, I would like to talk to you on the side so I can get a little more information. But I'm here for everybody. I work in the community. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I work in the community. I also have a nonprofit where we go in the community and we service families, helping them build stronger families, more stable, working with the youth and the families as far as getting them together to live the best lives they possibly can. I would love to connect with everybody on this call. There's a lot of value here. And I guess I just need to know my purpose of being on the call as well. So Christina, if you and I could connect later, I appreciate it.
Praise God.
And that's pretty much all I have.
We'll love it. We all hurt. And that's where you come in. So, you have a big place for all of us, including me. I'm already working with you, bro. Yeah. Right? I'm not even ashamed to say it because we're going to need assistance to pull through. Right. Let's close us out in prayer for family. Brother Stu Minister Robert, if you don't mind, can you close us out in prayer? And then we'll go on our call.
Yes.
Thank you.
In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the world, the beneficent, the merciful, master of the day of judgment in which we now live. Either we serve, indeed we beseech for aid. O Allah, guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, and not the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they've heard thy teaching. Ameen. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum. Go in peace.
Wa alaikum salam. Love you, family. Stay safe. Talk to you soon. Peace.